In this short video, I'm going to show you how we can set up our gradebook so that as assignments become past due, summative assignments become past due, they'll automatically be populated with a 0 if a student has not received a grade on those assignments. To go about doing this, we're going to do it the most simplistic way. There's lots of different ways you can get it done. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up categories in our gradebook. We're going to name that category past due. We can name it past due summative assessments if you'd like to be a little bit more detailed. Then we're going to set that category so that any assignment that's in that category that does not have a submit, does not have a grade, is automatically going to be counted as a 0. And then we're going to move those assignments in there. So to give you an example, I'm going to show you really quickly. So I have a student here. And we're going to say in this particular scenario that module 1 is ended and now has become past due. You can see that I have 4 assignments that are module 1, and 3 of those assignments have been submitted and graded. If I scroll down to the student's final grade, you can see right here that the student has 100 because all of these blanks are not counting against the student. What we're going to do is we're going to change that and make sure that module 1 reflection assessment is now past due and will count as a 0 until it's graded. So I'm going to navigate to a course where I have an instructor rights, and all of the work that we're going to be doing is here in the grades function underneath the administration toolbar. Yours may be in a little different spot, but go ahead and click on grades. And once in here, as I said earlier, what we want to do is set up a category, assign the settings to that category so that if there is no grade, it's going to count as a 0, and then move the assignments into it. The first step is to create a category. We're going to do that underneath the setup function directly underneath grade administration. We're going to set up a category. So once you click on setup, it expands down and you'll see categories and items. Go ahead and click on categories and items. And it's now loaded a little bit different, and it may look very similar, but you'll start seeing little icons where you can move assignments around if you so desire. But what we'd like to do is set up a category and name it past due assignments. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom of the screen and I'm going to hit add a category. What I'd like to do is name it past due assignments. And the second step that I'm going to do while I'm here is I need to say that any assignment that has not been graded that is in this category will count as a 0 if it's not been graded. So if I click the show more, you're going to say right here, there's a checkbox that says exclude empty grades. You see that it's checked, meaning that if there's something if it's empty, it's going to exclude it from grading. What we're going to do is uncheck that. If I scroll down the bottom, those are all the settings that I need to adjust. I hit Save Changes. So now, if I scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see that I have a category right here called Past Due Assignments. The second step is to add our past due assignments to this category right here. To do that, it's rather simple. All I have to do is click on the boxes to the right of the assignments that I wish to move. I'm going to scroll down to the very bottom of the page, and right here, this little drop down says move selected items to, and if I click on that drop down, it's going to give me the choice of past due assignments. Once I click on that, you'll now see that down the very bottom, I have past due assignments, and those assignments are now in there. If I'd like to move the past due assignments just because it's easier on the eyes for the students and everybody up to the top, all I have to do is simply click on these arrows that are pointing up and down, and it gives me a box where it says, where would you like to place this? I'd like to place this at the top right here. So I simply click this to move the items to that location. And now you'll see that in categories and items, past due assignments is right here. And it shows you the assignment total for this category. It also shows you down the very bottom the total course category assignment. But if I go back as a student now, and I refresh the page, because currently none of these grades count against me. If I refresh the page and you see that the student currently has 100, refresh the page, you'll now see that there's a past due assignments and his total score right now is a 75% because it's averaging these together and counting this as a 0. If I scroll down to the bottom of the course, none of these items right here are counting against the student just yet because they're not past due. So you scroll on the bottom, the course total right now is at 75%. So that's how you go about setting up your gradebook so that past due assignments that are not turned in and not already scored will count against the student and will reflect that in their average.